Hello again, everyone. This is Rudolph Wilkins with Forgotten Fitness, and before I start this video, I wanted to briefly discuss the channel overall. I have seen immense growth on this channel, and I wanted to let all of you know we are coming up on the 1,000 subscriber milestone. That is unbelievable. I've only had this channel for 4 months. It's truly incredible. Over 30,000 total YouTube views. And I wanted to tell you all that I will be doing a Q&A once we hit 1,000 subscribers, where I'll be doing my workout and answering any of your questions that you have. I get tons of questions on Instagram. I mean, hundreds of them a week, and I feel that this would be a good way for me to cover the vast quantity of them over video format. You know, I would be able to get some views, and I'll be able to help all of you out, and you can see how I train. But that's a little bit down the road. I'll make an update video as we get a little bit closer. But if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like this video. But in this video today, we will be discussing Vince Gironda's supine bench curl. A supine bench, for those that are unaware, is simply a flat bench. Depicted here on the left is actually a picture from Vince's gym. You can see all his equipment was made out of wood. It's really incredible stuff. I would love to own one of these pieces, but they are quite rare and in private hands, so that'll probably be a proposition that'll happen way later down the line. But I thought I'd show you that picture. It really is interesting. And of course on the right is the infamous, famous Larry Scott. Pardon me, he's certainly not infamous. Everybody that knows Larry Scott said he was a wonderful man and had a very impressive physique, and of course incredible arms. When he first went to Vince Gironda, though, he was notoriously narrow and actually had quite small and spindly arms. So through Vince Gironda's various training protocols, he grew his arms to the immense size you see here today. And I think they even improved into his later years, into his 40s and 50s. His arms even got more separated, more detailed, more matured. They looked even better. And the exercise we'll be discussing today is one of those interesting exercise variations you really never see done anymore, but Vince Gironda used to bring out the middle of the bicep, to really thicken the arm overall, to give it that thick, meaty look. And it's a really wonderful exercise. I hadn't actually done it too much prior to making this video. I think I've incorporated it into a couple of my programs in the past, but it's been quite a while. But immediately when I gave it a go today, I could feel it just fill my arms full of blood. So in the following video, I will give you a description of the exercise and talk about what it actually is. And I'll also give you a demonstration after that, demonstrating the exercise and how you can approach it at your home gym or in a commercial gym. Of course, if you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comments section and I'll make sure to answer them. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. So, what is the supine bench curl and why would you ever want to perform it? Well, in layman's terms, it is essentially an incline curl, which was very common throughout the Silver era, but instead of being done on an incline, it's done on a flat bench. And that's the 1-2 answer about it, but Vince Gironda has a much more elegant answer and gives you some detail about why you may want to perform it. So essentially, it is a curl variation designed specifically to target the middle bicep and add thickness to the arm from the front. So if you're looking at somebody head on, you always want to see a bigger upper arm. You don't want it to be narrow. And this exercise is designed to target the bicep and add thickness to the arm. Ideally for this exercise, a high supine bench would be used. That's a high flat bench. Now what is a high flat bench? Essentially all that means is that the legs are further off the ground, so for this exercise in particular, the dumbbells won't be touching the ground when you go down. Now I have found you actually can use most standard benches, and I have extremely long arms. I am over 6'5". You can actually use standard benches, but you have to ensure that you do not allow the dumbbells to rest on the floor between each rep. And the way I have found you can do this is you can bring your arm out further towards your toes rather than keep it straight under your body, because at that point the dumbbell will definitely touch the floor. So keep it a little bit more out towards the toes and hover it above the floor. Do not ever let the dumbbells rest on the floor in between each rep. Also, if you're using a standard bench, you can actually add books or wooden blocks if you desire to elevate it further, but I would caution you and say you want to make sure you have a stable platform here and that they're not just seated on books that can fall over and you can be in trouble. The dumbbells also must always remain off the floor, so even if you're going down and you're really burning out the biceps, you don't want to rest them on the floor. You're taking tension off the arms at that point. So to start this exercise, you want to begin by lying on a flat bench with 2 fairly light dumbbells on either side of you. You will then lay back flat on the bench and grab both dumbbells. At this point, you want to slightly elevate both of them off of the floor. Simultaneously, you want to lift your head off the bench, and I'll explain this in the demonstration, you'll see what I mean. You can kind of see it here in the photo. You want to lift your head off the bench as well as curl forward slightly. You also want your shoulders to be slightly off the bench as well. You want to ensure that your head remains off the bench at all times. Don't slam it down, don't look back, keep it elevated at all times. At this point, you can begin curling the bells one at a time, so it's an alternating curl motion. At the top of each rep, this is real important, you want to turn your head and shoulders towards the flexed arm to both ensure a strong cramp and allow for peak contraction. So it's almost like a concentration curl in that regard. Finally, you will return the arm back down to full extension and begin the entire process again with the other side. Another tip, you want to keep the rep slow and forcibly flex the biceps at the top of the movement. And that's pretty much it. It seems more complicated than it is, but it's really not very complicated at all. Like mentioned, it is essentially an incline curl done on a flat bench. So in the following slide, I'll actually give you a demonstration of this exercise. All right, and this is the supine bench curl. As you can see, I have seated myself on a flat bench and laid back. One thing I completely forgot to mention in the last slide is you want to elevate the feet. And in the depiction in Unleashing the Wild Physique, the feet are actually placed on the bench. This was very common for Vince Gironda. He wanted you to really focus on the muscle you're training. So on a neck press, you'll have your feet elevated. On a tricep extension, you'll have your feet elevated. And on this bicep curl variation, you will also have your feet elevated. Another point of mention here is you can see right there, I am not ever touching the floor with these dumbbells, ever. I am really making sure to concentrate on keeping them elevated above the floor at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And at the top, I'm really cramping the arms, and I'm really focusing on turning my head, watching the arm, and ensuring peak contraction and perfect form at the very top. And that's pretty much all you need to know. It is not a very hard exercise, but man, does it feel good. And it's real nice to change up your routine. I think, doing barbell curls and dumbbell curls, although that's very nice and very effective, things like this and even cable variations of the same exercise like cable curls or cable tricep extensions are equally as important. Vince Gironda was a big proponent of muscular confusion. Of course, he made the booklet titled "A Muscle Has 4 Sides," which I'll actually be doing a review on shortly. But that booklet kind of details his philosophy on always alter your training methods. Don't keep them the same, because being the same is being stagnant. You won't really progress that way. So these new exercises, definitely give them a try. This one in particular is wonderful, and you never see anybody doing it. It really is a great exercise. Of course, if you have any questions about this exercise or anything else on my page, just ask in the comment section below. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. But until next time, this is Forgotten Fitness signing out. Bye-bye.